Welcome, dear audience, to One Missed Call, a film about people calling each other and then someone dying, but there's also ghosts in it, and at no point was it very scary. Now you're probably thinking, why are you churning up a movie from about 20 years ago? Well, that would be because I searched the Googles for the worst horror films, and this was shockingly number 1. And after watching it, boy weren't they right. So without further ado, let's get into audience. Let's get shocked together. Film begin and here we are at a house. A strong house. A house so bigly that there's not a natural disaster on Earth that could destroy it. Oh whoops, it's now on fire and also it's a hospital. And this kid's mum's dead too. It's so sad. Well, that was enough of a big mysterious for the opening scenes. A burnt hospital, a dying mother. What else do you need? So let's head to Shanice, who's currently stroking her pussy. And she is also on the telephone to Tyrone saying that she's seen some really weird stuff lately. What has she seen? Literally don't know, they don't elaborate any further. But as she sits there, she suddenly can't see her cat, so immediately starts thinking that it drowned to death in the pond, so goes for an investigation. Wait, never mind, the cat's fine, it's not dead, it was never in the pond. Phew, that was lucky. Oh wait, never mind, now she's dead because Jason from Friday the 13th is vacationing in her pond or some shit. And so is the cat now dead too. Meanwhile, back at her table, her phone is now getting scrolled through by a big scary ghost and it is calling people. What an utter mysterious that is going on right now. It will require some heavy explanation to what is going on right now at the end of this film that justifies my cautious early intrigue. Yeah, that ain't gonna happen, and I'm warning you now, the ending is a terror brew. Alright then, opening scene's over, so let's quickly montage a bunch of people using their phones, just in case someone didn't realise the film is called One Missed Call, and people call each other on the telephone, but sometimes people miss phone calls, so some genius wrote a movie about it and tried to get people killed. So let's head to a party where we are being introduced to the main characters. Here's Todd, and he's got the hots for Taylor, but here's Maggie too, who is also tossing a salad. At a party where everyone's drinking. Get the fuck out of here. Anyway, while that's happening, we also find out Todd has recently broken up with his girlfriend, and that's really sad. Yeah, I'm gonna quickly jump in here and say literally no one cares. It has zero bearing on the entire plot. But there was also just a knock at the front door, and it's Leanne, Todd's ex-girlfriend. Wow, just turned up at the precise time they exposition dumped that he had a girlfriend they broke up. What are the chances? So they get heading upstairs, discussing Shanice, the dead chick from earlier who fell into a pond and straight up died. So Leanne gets telling her, I knew Shanice, she would never have ended herself in that pond. It's impossible. She loved her life. You've got to let it go, says Maggie. She had problems, so drowned herself in like a couple of inches of pond water or something. Nothing strange about it at all. She pulled off the perfect Jeffrey Epstein. But just as they're discussing what the great big mysterious this is, Leanne, Todd's ex-girlfriend, gets a phone call because if you haven't guessed it yet, the film is called One Missed Call, and that is a telephone. But the biggest mysterious is yet to come, as the ringtone that is coming at that phone is different to our usual one, so that can mean only one thing. It's Shanice calling, who is also known as Shelly in the film. I like to make up names now and again. And to everybody's horror, she just missed that call. My god, it's the name of the film! And really weirdly, the person at the other end of that phone who's just left that voicemail is none other than Leanne herself, and she's screaming to death. But Leanne is in the room right now. How did she send herself a voicemail? Oh, we'll find out, although we really don't. So let's head outside immediately to not answer any of those questions, where a detective has just got a call that he thankfully managed to answer in time, and it turned out that his sister is dead. Oh no, what an emotional moment for him. He's really showing a lot of pain right now. Yeah, such versatile acting. No wonder his career never kicked off. Therefore, down to the morgue he goes in one smooth scene transition, and yep, she's fucking dead. And since he is a detective, he gets detectiving her dental hygiene, as that's really important. Sweet baby Jesus, he says. Not only is my sister dead, and I'm not even upset about it, but she was also teabagged. So with one dead sister and a pocket full of broken dreams, including his acting career, let's head to college where Todd's ex-girlfriend, Leanne, who had that mysterious voicemail earlier, has just seen a CGI guy on fire who was no doubt protesting the latest thing. Jesus Christ! That's really gonna stain the sidewalk. Oh, I better go looking elsewhere. Ugh, there's a centipede. I am certainly going retarded. Alright, so here's what I've gathered so far. People are seeing shit, Jason from Friday the 13th is hanging out in ponds now, and Crispy Duck is doing another protest. So let's head for another smooth scene transition to later where Todd's ex-girlfriend Leanne is heading home. Nice walk, right? Wrong! Because there is a bus and it has a dead guy on it who looks really scary. And there's also another big scary ghost with fucking teeth for eyes waiting at a bus stop with her creepy ass kid. But if I'm not mistaken, she just missed that bus, so she'll have to wait until 2:30 for the next one. Get it? Because she has teeth for eyes? 2:30? Well, I'll see myself out. Okay then, so shit is getting really real. It's scary out there. But don't worry, because Leanne has called Maggie and she's coming to get her, and now everything is going to be absolutely fine. Oh wait, she just got hit by a train and is now also dead. No, Reese Maggie, that was Todd's ex-girlfriend. But as she lays there as dead as a Titan submersible, she begins typing out a number on her mobile telephone. Which means nothing to the entire audience. So it is now investigation time. Yes, she's dead alright. I have concluded she was also teabagged by a train. Well, that didn't take too long, and neither did the scene transmission to the wake where everyone is working out that all these bitches keep dying because they missed a telephone call. Someone better call Sherlock Holmes. These guys are just working everything out. They're genius. But Todd is a little bit upset about all this and goes for a coffee with Maggie because, unknown to anyone, he has a little bit of a secret and it's not him wanting to toss Maggie's salad. Oh, you'll never guess what, bro, he says. I have a voicemail from myself and it's dated at 2 PM today, which is impossible because that's the future and I'm also seeing shit. Like big scary ghosts all over the place. But you know what? Forget about it. Don't worry about little old me. I've got to go now. I have band practice or something. But as he gets walking away, he forgot his telephone and then an explosion goes off and then he gets London loggied right through the chest. Right, this film is basically Final Destination with ghosts. And also Jason from Friday the 13th for some kind of reason. So Maggie, heartbroken, goes down to the police station to explain exactly what happened. You know, the phone call that he got, then the voicemail that he was going to die at 2 PM, and then the ghost, and then straight up dying. But the plot has got to happen, so the police lady says that there were no phone calls or voicemails on that telephone, and it was still said in direct earshot of Detective Man. You know, the guy whose sister got teabagged to death, and all his reaction was, "Oh, this is really sad, my sibling has been deceased." But now he is getting a little bit sus, telling Maggie, "My sister died too, and I'm starting to figure out immediately that somehow, with all these teabagging bulls turning up and the dead people mildly knowing each other, it's looking suspicious. The man is a genius." Alright then, let's head over to where Maggie has just got home. But she has also heard a noise from the other room, and my god, it's that character I forgot the name of, and she's really scared because she's thinking that the ghost is going to open up the yellow pages and call her. Like, really scared that's going to happen. "Hey," she says, "you know what? These ghosts are likely going to call us on our telephones and leaving voicemails and all that. How's about, and I am a genius, we take the batteries out?" It's 2008, bro. It's that time where we can actually do this sort of stuff instead of going to phone repair shops. "My gosh," says Maggie, "that's a great idea. But boy, I sure hope my phone doesn't ring without a battery in it because that would be entirely predictable and not scary at all." Well, call me a fucking genius because hot dang that phone went off. But this time, it's a video voicemail. Did we have these? I literally don't remember that being a thing back then, and I don't even think it is a thing now. Nah, who cares? This film is a heap of shite anyway. So they get showing everyone the video because it's really scary before coming to the conclusion that smashing it to pieces will totally work and she now won't die. Yeah, you're probably thinking, oh, I've seen all this shit before, she'll see a couple of ghosts and straight up fucking die. But what if I told you that before that happens, a random TV producer just shows up out of literally nowhere and suggests they get an exorcism to stop the big scary ghosts, but they've got to do it on his television. Right, I'm gonna take a quick pause here. How are all these ghosts making these phone calls, and why has no one had the ingenious idea of saying to the ghosts that they've got the wrong number? It would be genius. So okay then, let's head over to Detective Columbo with the dead sister, showing up to tell Maggie that she's totally right and ghosts are literally leaving voicemails now because he conducted an investigation and it turned out that first police officer who said that they couldn't get any phone calls on there was lying. Phew, glad they've worked that all out. And they also figured out that the missed calls are coming from people who died last and are calling the next person who is also going to die. Basically, a chainmail of death. And because he's a massive genius, he's also backchecked the death mail all the way to the root cause number. Yes, they have found the voicemailer who no doubt has $1 million to put in your bank account. And by using the number he was called off, they managed to find an address which is conveniently close by, so they head over and are going to break in by using a piece of card, undoing 100 years of Yale lock research and development. So they head inside where it's revealed no one is around, so that obviously means whoever's living here is indeed dead. And for big mysterious purposes, Detective Columbo is seeing those boss wankers from earlier, plus the centipede, and also a DVD. My god, it's like some kind of primitive technology! You could fit so many megabytes on those things, it was unreal. But what is on this DVD? Well, it's a nanny cam of the room where two kids are, one of them being that one from the opening scenes where her mum died to death in that fire, and then one of the girls who I presume is the sister, straight up dies of asthma because she was too lazy to breathe. But we also find out that the kid's mum was also very abusive. And when her kid got injured once, she got questioned by a psychiatric nurse at a hospital about why did she hurt her kid. And the very nurse that was asking those questions was his dead sister. My god, and she also worked at the hospital from the opening scenes. This is going full circle. Alright then, plot thickens. Let's go head over to the TV producer man who's currently on the set of giving that girl an exorcism, where Exorcist Man gets chanting, yes, evil phone book ghost, be gone now in the name of holy Jeebus. Leave this cell phone alone right now. Well, surprise, that didn't work and then she straight up fucking dies. And here's Detective Columbo showing up precisely at the time that he needed to confirm it because between scenes they travelled all the way there. But as they're standing wondering if dead people really do shit themselves, Maggie's phone starts ringing, therefore she's up next. No, not Maggie, she's got a really cool 3-dimensional character growth arc. Yeah, like fuck she does. Here's an idea. If you know you're going to die after looking at the phone, how's about you just don't look at the phone? Walk away. Don't sign the consent form. Go full on, fuck this shit, I'm out, I'm gonna go churn some butter with the Amish. Yeah, like anyone here has a brain cell, so she opens up her phone, and now she's going to die tomorrow. Good, you dumb bitch. It's later and they're chatting about how she's going to die tonight. But as they're saying words, Columbo notices some scars on her forearm, so it's an immediate flashback to young Maggie where her mother was committing hate crimes with cigarettes. Yeah, no one cares and also her dad is dead. It's so sad. Seriously, they keep showing up these flashbacks to where her mum was really mean, even though it's about as deep as a puddle and has zero bearing on the plot. Alright, big cry over, and now they've got a call that the girl in the opening scenes who was outside the hospital, who is also that girl from the nanny cam, is currently residing in a mental hospital. So they get heading immediately to investigate. Hey kid, I'm PC Columbo. do you know where your mother is? Because when that hospital burnt to the ground, we could not find your charred mother's corpse. She's unaccounted for. She could be anywhere right now, even under your bed. But sadly, that doesn't work because she's taken an oath of silence. Therefore, it is interview over. And seriously, I had no idea that they couldn't find the mother. I just assumed she burnt up in a hospital, but it took until now, through the power of dialogue, to find out that the mother's body was never recovered. And that's actually pretty integral to the plot, although it really isn't. And we'll find out later. So they get searching low and high in the local libraries through newspaper clippings to wonder what happened. But suddenly Maggie immediately has the greatest idea ever I did in the history of ideaing. Hey, what if in that fire from the opening scenes, the kid's mum was indeed killed to death and she's still in that hospital but is also really dead and no one found her because she was playing like hide and seek or something? I bet it's her making all those phone calls from behind the grave to kill people. Well, that was some Sherlock shit right there. So heads down to the burnt out hospital with a pocket full of dreams and electrical engineering skills. Because somehow unknown to anyone, that old burnout building still has power and the light bulbs work. And since it's free real estate, she gets shopping around. Yes, a wheelchair, some stairs, another chair, a little crib, and a bald ass baby. Well, that's very scary. So it is time to get out of that place with PC Columbo immediately dank goofing up and getting knocked out by a ghost. Alright, because of magic, she's now locked in a room and there's also a phone with a timer on, so she better hurry the fuck up. Because that's counting down to her death. But as she stands there, suddenly she notices that the air vents have a giant hole in them and that must mean something, so goes inside. But as she gets through it, she comes face to face with electrical wiring and also a dead bitch who's been making all those phone calls. My god, it's case closed! It was that dead bitch all along, and the only way to stop all this hocus pocus is by smashing that phone harder than Rachel Zegler's career. But little does she realise, the corpse isn't really dead because it has AIDS. Hey, how you doing, girl? Mind if we make out a little bit? I'm a little bit crusty, but just pretend we've been eating pastry. Right, well, just as this is going on, Detective Columbo turns up to ruin the fun and the corpse died to death again. And now that the curse has been broken, everyone will stop dying, no questions asked. But we also find out this precise point, what all the Otto SpaghettiOs is about. My god, says Columbo. When she was dying up in that air vent when the building was on fire, she must have called my sister first on her phone, and when she didn't pick up, she vowed revenge on the entire phone book. It was just a shame that she called my sister at an inconvenient time. Alright, that was some Scooby-Dooby shit, so it's time to head home. For you, this definitely means the film is over now, right? Wrong, because are you ready for the next plot twist? This entire time, everyone was thinking that the mother was the really bad guy. You know, Crispy Duck? But it was actually her other daughter, the one who died because she was too lazy to breathe. Oh lordy, I never saw that one coming. And seriously, I didn't, because that was some next level toilet brain plot development. So it's nanny cam flashback time with that kid was an evil little bitch. And the mother was never evil. She was really good and loved her little daughter. And when she got left alone in her room, she started having an asthma attack. Then she made a phone call to her mum, and when she didn't pick up, she straight up died, and she was the one who vowed revenge on the entire phone book. Alright, so now we know what happened. Can this film be over? Not so fast, audience. Because while this is happening, the evidence box from Mummy Crispy Duck is being filed down a local police station. And suddenly the phone in the box starts ringing. Oh lordy, it never ends, although I really wish it would. So body positivity policeman gets answering that voicemail call, where it turns out he's going to die in 35 minutes from diabetes. Now I'm just fucking, it's a voicemail for Maggie and she's now going to die again. Therefore, it's up to Detective Columbo to save her, and he better hurry up because here comes the ghost and it's very scary. Well, that was quick, and here he is knocking on the door, but no one's home. And now he's dead. So what was the point in his character? He didn't do anything, because everything he was involved in led them to the wrong person. But only lordy, if we head back to Maggie, she's really in for it this time. She's going to die, and there's not a Deus Ex Machina that can save her now. And then the ghost of Crispy Duck Mama turns up and stops a little ghost bitch, and now she's not going to die, and that is actually confirmed film finish. But not before the detective gets teabagged and makes a phone call. Get the fuck out of here. I bet the writers really thought they were going to get a sequel from this. You're not, it's shit. Anyway, that's pretty much the film, and if there's one thing we can all learn from it, is if you're going to have a whole load of people spew out bills from their mouth, you might want to explain it. Big shout out to all my Patreon boys and guys. Every night I dream of us getting sent to gulags for committing hate crimes. Love you all very much, Ling.
Subscribe button.
Is always right.